I also want to talk about GLP-1s and the microdosing because I've heard horror stories where people are abusing this medication to lose weight and ending up in the hospital with pancreas or kidney failure. So I'd love for you to just give us the whole scope of the risks, how people are abusing them, what people should know, and is there an amazing way to use them?
Yeah, great question. So I think like most things, the poison is in the dose kind of a situation. And I think, sadly, this took hold of our society so quickly before I really think that we had it figured out. And what we've done is we have taken these weight loss medications that were originally designed for people with diabetes. We've now extrapolated data from those diabetic patients, and we're applying dosing algorithms and treatment protocols to people who are not diabetic and are trying to use the same protocols, and it's failing people. And in my opinion, GLPs are the biggest thing that I will ever see in my lifetime in medicine. I think they will change medicine forever, and in a way that is completely unrelated to weight loss. Their potential for shifting so much in our physiology goes so far beyond weight. I think weight is like an added benefit almost. But I think the way that they are being used currently can be, for many people, incredibly harmful. And it is way over-medicating people. Like, we don't have any business taking the doses of medication that everyone is being given. Not only are they starting on too much, they're incrementally being inappropriately increased unnecessarily. And so what's happening at large is people are not eating food. They have been anxious to lose weight. They haven't been able to lose weight. They finally have this thing and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yes, I'll take more. Yes, I'll increase my dose. Meanwhile, they're eating 200, 500, 600 calories a day. They're rapidly losing weight. They're losing muscle. They're losing collagen. They're losing hair. They're getting pancreatitis because rapid weight loss puts you at risk for pancreatitis, independent of a GLP. Their blood pressure's dropping so quickly. They're having vision issues, right? They're losing eyesight and things. Meanwhile, rarely are they being monitored. Rarely are they being educated. Rarely are they being closely followed. So the bad things we hear about in the media can happen. Almost ubiquitously, they are happening in people who are over-medicated, right? And when I started our GLP program, because with thyroid people, they get to a point that they cannot lose weight. Like, these people live a perfect lifestyle. They exercise, they do all the things, and they cannot lose 5 pounds to save their life, much less 30, 40, 50, right? So when we started our program, getting close to 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago now, really quickly, I was like, oh, wow, these people are on way too much medication. Like, they're not eating, they're nauseous, they're having all these side effects. So we started experimenting very, very early on with microdosing, with tailored dosing. So the concept of, one, do we need to increase this medication right now? Is it still effective? If it is, why would we? Two, how low can we possibly go in this dose and it still be effective? And so we've shifted our protocols. I don't think I've written a Zofran and a nausea prescription in over 2 years. Like, it just doesn't happen anymore. We have never had a single serious side effect in our population of patients. And what we've seen is really interesting. Like, of course, people lose weight, and I sometimes lose sight of how impactful that is for women. But the more important things I feel like that we've seen are massive reductions in inflammation that are not able to be mimicked with any medication, lifestyle modification, supplement, nothing. Like, in 24 to 48 hours. It is incredible. I didn't expect, and we have data to back that up, that now finally research is kind of coming out and showing. We ubiquitously almost see reductions in Hashimoto's antibodies that I did not expect, but I'm a data person. I will mine my people for as much data as I possibly can and study patterns. And that's what kind of makes us good at what we do. And really quickly found out, wow, these people on GLPs, their inflammation is dropping and it's reducing their Hashimoto's antibodies, and in some cases putting them single-handedly into remission, which has been incredible. I've had so many unique experiences with patients from an inflammatory perspective. But the other really cool thing that happens in the thyroid community is over time, when it's done properly, not only are these women finally able to lose weight for the first time in as long as they can remember, but their metabolism begins to heal. And so ultimately, so many of our patients come off of these medications. They can maintain their weight with appropriate effort. They can honestly continue to lose weight, whereas before they could not do that with effort. And along the way, they almost get this retraining that food isn't bad. I'm not a failure for eating. I'm not a failure for not doing everything right, because they're getting reinforcement from their process that every time they fail on a weekend, they don't gain 6 pounds, right? And so there's almost this reverse healing of their concept around food and themselves that's been really sacred to watch. And I recognize that that's not everyone's experience. And I know that there are plenty of places that are doing it wrong, but there are places that are doing it right that can have such a lasting impact on people's long-term health.
That's amazing. I mean, I'll have to confess here, I'm very natural leaning. So medication to me is like, use it for emergency medicine. Yeah. Maybe if you have a condition and you need to jumpstart, but like the Lipitor thing for me was, that's a
like I'd still be on that today.
I know.
Right.
It causes more damage than for most people. There's like a small percentage that it actually is very effective for. So GLP, like it almost feels, the inflammation thing is interesting to me because I always would want to find like a natural solution to that. But maybe there's just so much bombarding us in our environment that it's hard to. But I love this concept of, if someone's been out of balance for so long and their body hasn't known how to lose weight, or you do all the right things and you're still coming up against that issue, if with the proper microdosing and guidance from you, they're able to lose weight. I mean, that's so healing for the psyche and for the self. I mean, so much more healing on the emotional side of things can happen once you start getting that forward momentum.
Thank you for recognizing that.
You know, and then, so that's a beautiful thing. And then to be able to get off of it and not rely on it and have your body then go, okay, I remember what to do and we're in this together. Like that to me is the best use of medication.
Right. Absolutely. And people come out psychologically, emotionally, physically, so much healthier. And to touch on the inflammation thing that I think is lost from a society perspective and just from like normal people knowledge of how our body works is our bodies, there's a byproduct of inflammation that's created just from our physiology. Like it's just the trash that we accumulate in our physiology on a day-to-day basis that's independent even of food, of environment, all of those things. And genetics, my genetics produce a lot of inflammation. Like that is something that I have to deal with every day. My husband, on the other hand, has no idea what it means to be inflamed. He's never woke up puffy a day in his life, Yeah. Damn that. And so everyone is independent on this. And it's not, sadly, as simple as, we'll just tell them to go gluten and dairy free and everything will be great. For a lot of people, that's not the answer. In the same way that a lot of people can't eat really great and exercise and lose weight. Like they're so insulin, leptin resistant, so dysregulated that lifestyle is no longer an option for them alone, right? Not to say that they don't need to be doing the work, because they do, or they're not going to succeed in the same way. But it's not always, it can't just be that for some people, sadly.